Hey everybody, welcome to Muscular Development's wrap-up of the Mr. Big Evolution Portugal Pro. Just finished over there in Portugal. We have Lauren Lauder on site, did tons of winner interviews. That's on this channel. Check that out. But right now, I want to get into analyzing the show with none other than Giles Tiger Thomas over there in the UK, the man who knows so much about these guys. He's the one who tells me about these guys like 2-3 years before anybody knows about them. Man, Giles, I know you wanted to go to the show, but here we are. We're doing it remotely, remote coverage. What do you think?
Yeah, first time I've ever done it like this. I'm quite excited actually. So it's all new for me. And you know, I've just learned I've got a really weird. I've got a really weird pre-Zoom or Skype ritual. I do mouthwash. Why do I do mouthwash before I do a Zoom? I was doing it. I was like, I've been doing this for the last few years. Why do I do that? That's how sophisticated us Brits are, mate. But yeah.
Well, you want to have clean, fresh breath for Zoom, I guess. Yeah, I can smell it right now. It smells good.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, nice. Good.
Yeah. So Andrea Presti pulls off his second pro win, and he was the defending champion. So now both of his titles are this Mr. Big Evolution Pro. He's qualified for the Olympia again. No? Suddenly,
someone disagreeing.
Oh, go ahead. Who's disagreeing?
Yeah, no. Oh, I thought you were looking at comments.
No, I thought you were disagreeing.
Sorry,
he did win. Yeah. So I should probably just run down the top six, and then we'll get into it. So Andrea Presti was the winner. Runner-up was Andrea Muzzy. Don't get confused, guys. They're two different people. They're both from Italy, and they're both named Andrea. Third place, Croatia's Peter Clancher. Fourth place, Germany's Tim Budesheim. Fifth place from the Ukraine, Vlad Suhrochko. Sixth place, the big man from France, Morgan Ast. Yeah.
I mean, well, the top six was pretty much, I think, as we kind of predicted it. But the thing is, when did Andrea Muzzy sneak into the show? I mean, I had no idea he was doing this show. I mean, Lauren was even at the registration. And I mean, she didn't sort of say there was any guys that, well, she wouldn't have known anyway, would she? Because she maybe not familiar with the guys in their tracksuits. But yeah, she knows like Vlad and Presti and guys like that. Yeah. But yeah, what a shock. And also they were all teammates as well because Mauro Sassi used to prep both Andrea Muzzy and Presti, and he used to put them in alternate shows so they wouldn't go up against each other. So it was quite quite exciting to see those two go up against each other and they're both, and they're both so improved this year. But I tell you what, I think I was looking through some photos this morning, and Presti posted obviously he posted all his hotel room shots, and I hate saying this, but I could tell from the condition of his glutes that he was in even better condition than in Orlando. Orlando? Sorry. Yeah, Orlando. Yeah, sorry, I was Cali and New York were all running through my head then. But yeah, so I just knew that he was going to be in better condition. But to be honest, I was looking at the photos and the videos, and I just thought the thing that struck me, he's so polished. Like his tan, and obviously because he's been in condition for that long now, because obviously he got second at New York Pro, seventh at Cali, and one in Orlando, and it's just, looking at him now, it's just, I'm so impressed by like the level of fullness and the condition and the way he's managed to keep that skin so tight and also keep improving whilst also, don't forget, doing all this traveling as well. Now that is impressive. I was expecting him to look almost as good as he did at Orlando, but for me, I think he looked better. Ron, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he gets tighter and tighter. The skin looks thinner. I'm looking at the posing right now, and yeah, I'm amazed that he's able to keep that really fresh look, because a lot of times when guys hit multiple shows over the course of a couple months, like he's been doing, that they start to get a tired look to their physique. Things aren't really popping. They can't really get that fullness anymore. It's missing, and he's doing a bang up job. Him and Mauro together, man, what a team. I'm so impressed with his back shots, especially. I think he's got some of the best. His back double bicep, I think his rear double bicep is one of the best in the game right now, I think.
I think he has to take the title of the new X-Man, surely.
Yeah, and the encouraging thing, we did that interview a couple of days ago. That's up on this channel too, guys, if you want to check it out. And he had 2 quad tears and a hamstring tear over the past few years. He's finally injury-free. He's finally able to train his legs properly now, because that's the knock on him is his legs don't quite match those crazy wide shoulders and wide upper back. If he had more quad sweep, you know, I when I say that, I didn't realize he had any injuries or anything. It doesn't matter because we're just judging what's in front of us. We're looking at we don't know the backstory, but I'm very excited because if he adds a little bit more quad sweep, he's going to be deadly.
I mean, we all know he's kind of very dominant in the chest back, and I mean his shoulder. I really like that most muscular he does. I like it because the shoulder to waist differential, and then he's got those nice thick bumpy abs. He's got the nice round cap shoulders, and I mean, he looked like a true professional. I looked at him, and I was looking at the videos just earlier on, and I was just thinking, like, he literally couldn't have done any more to look any more polished on stage, and I really respect those guys. Do you know what I mean? And I mean, somebody put a comment on the preview saying that Orlando was the best posing routine. So here's a guy that realizes, you know, he has genetic limitations that, you know, maybe he's not as blessed in certain areas like the arms and the legs as other guys. But here's a guy who's just worked and made the best of what he's got. Because I couldn't have predicted that he would have improved as much as he has in this last year, because he won this show last year, so he was the defending champion. But for me, I mean, he won it by a whisker last year. You know, he had Vlad and Tim again to go up against. But this year, I just felt like he was a dominant winner. You know, and this was the top six guys. I felt like they were all very, very evenly matched. And I just think because last year he got last place at Olympia, and now I'm thinking, like, I mean, if you're going to cut it into 4 quarters at the Olympia, he was in the bottom quarter last year. I would love to just see him move up to the top of that 3rd quarter, because I don't think he's a top 6 guy this year. I'm maybe not even a top 10 guy this year, but I think he's someone that could jump up realistically. I reckon a good 3 or 4 placings this year, which I think would be a good step forward for him. But how did you think it was close between him and Andrea Muzzy?
I'm looking at it right now, and you know, Muzzy's no joke. I think Presti's got more mass. He's got just more width to him. They have similar physiques, I think, but Presti's a bigger version of the same physique.
Yeah. I mean, I think Muzzy's kind of thicker developed. Like, he's certainly got him in the leg department, but I just like I said, I just like the way that Andrea Presti's really improved his physique, because he was lacking in the arms and legs last year, but now he's really starting to he's really thickened the arms up. I mean, his frontal bicep. I mean, I know I'm probably going to get hate for this, but for me, it reminds me of Dorian Yates.
How dare you?
I know, because he hasn't got the legs and he hasn't got the calves. But for me, when he does that frontal bicep, the way his lats pop out, I think it's the back mostly, because he's got those he's got really thick, wide hanging. I mean, I'd love to know what the angle is. It's probably like 70 degrees and it comes out from his waist. I mean, it's so impressive. So, I mean, I assume now he's going to be shutting it down, but he's going in now with 2 wins to Olympia. So, so I'm really happy for Andrea Presti, and I hope Maro's okay, because did you hear? He's just hurt his knee. I think he's going to go to hospital now, backstage, right now.
Wow. I think Presti in the interview, I should remember this, it was only a few days ago. I think he's already committed to another couple shows.
Oh, no. I think he needs to shut it down now.
No, he's definitely doing, there's one in Italy. It's at the Yamamoto. He's doing.
Oh, yeah, he's got to do that. He's got
to do that. And there's another one it's in Europe. I think he was already committed to that. I think he's in the Arnold UK.
Arnold UK.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Okay.
It's okay. I mean, why not? You know, he said, why not? You know, like Milos, who was Mauro Sassi's first coach, said, if you're a pro, you compete. You don't just get your qualification and go home and sit around for 8 months, or 6 months in this case. Let's take a look, if we could, at Andrea Muzzy, because we didn't even know when we did our preview, toward the beginning of last week, we had no idea he wasn't even in the show yet. So he wasn't on our radar. He wasn't in our predictions. But let's take a look at him, because he beat all the other guys that we had predicted were potential winners, and almost, I don't know how close it was with the scores. I guess we'll find out eventually.
I mean, only really Theo and Muzzy were the 2 guys that were missing that I would like to have seen to make this a true battle of Europe. If they were, obviously no Brits in, but I mean, I still think he lacks a bit of chest, but I mean, really, that's nitpicking because I mean, he's got a good. I mean, that front lat spread is sensational. It's one of those pictures that he puts on Instagram. You think that won't look as good on stage, and then it does.
Yeah, I'm looking at Muzzy right now. Andrea Muzilla.
Yeah, Muzzy.
And man, beautiful structure and shape on this guy. See, when he hits his double bicep, I think his back, his lats don't insert as low, so it's not as dramatic of that V taper that we see with Presti. But this guy's solid. This guy's got no weak body parts. Great condition. You know, if Presti hadn't been in the show, he would have won, obviously.
He ain't skipping leg day.
He doesn't skip leg day. So, how do you think Presti edged him out?
I think purely on, you just said the word dramatic there. He's got Presti's got that dramatic shape. He's got more pop. And like when he hits that frontal bicep, the way his lats pop out and he's kind of, the differences like between the shoulder and the waist, they're more exaggerated. Whereas Muzzy, he's kind of just thicker. He's got more muscle, but Presti is kind of, it's on a kind of slighter frame, which makes everything. And the way the muscle kind of pops and the way it's just when he hits those poses, like readable bicep and the rear lat spread, it's everything just kind of just comes alive when he poses. Whereas Muzzy just, he walks on stage and your eyes would probably be drawn to him first because he's just so big. I mean, he's I'm sure he's in the way into the 260s, and he's really leveled up his condition this year as well. So it'd be interesting to see what Muzzy does next as well, because I wouldn't mind seeing these two going head to head, the two Italians again, against each other at the Olympia. I would love to see that.
Yeah, someone just pointed out that Muzzy is no longer with Sassi, but I think you already said that. Yeah, we know that. Yeah. But Clancher is with Sassi, right?
So who? Yes, Clancher. Yes, Clancher. Yeah.
Peter.
Third place.
Yeah. Could we look at Jen? Can we take a look at Peter? Because he was one of our favorites, and I've yet to see this guy in real life. I'm waiting. He was supposed to be at Indy, supposed to be at New York. Wasn't able to make it. Okay, so a little bit of a delay, but I want to see what Clancher, how he looks. We're almost there. A little bit of a delay, guys. Bear with me. The audio really dropped so badly. Someone says, yeah, on the live chat, someone reposted the placings. Presti, Muzzy, Clancher, Budishine. Okay, so Clancher, big man. Let's see, tremendous delts. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what he looked like at the other shows compared to this. This show's lighting is spectacular. That Presti said that's one of the reasons he wanted to come back to it. He said, this is one of the best lit shows he's ever seen. Yeah, look at Clancher. Wow. Yeah, Clancher, if Presti hadn't been so shredded, Clancher, I would say, wow, this condition is amazing. It's very good, but Presti just brought the condition to another level. Just dry, grainy, every little fiber showing. But man, Clancher, no joke. He's no joke.
I feel like he gained a little bit of condition from the what was the other show he did? The Cali, wasn't it?
Yeah,
he did. I felt like he gained a little bit of condition, but for me, he looks a little bit flat and washed out. I mean, I think maybe I need to see the high quality pictures, and I think I'll probably see a different story, because I actually felt a bit disappointed when he first came out when I saw the video. And I was like, it was like from a side angle. And for me, he looked a bit depleted. But I think he played it. I think he did that, well, not deliberately, but I think he went a little bit flat just to get that really crisp condition, because he needed to be harder at Cali. So he's obviously, thing is, he's been out for 5 years. So he's obviously trying to get that balance right, as a lot of pros are. Like say where Presti got it absolutely bang on, the fullness to ratio to condition to everything. It just, he peaked perfectly for this show. Whereas I think Clancy is still trying to figure out his body a bit. So, I hope we see Clancy at the Arnold UK, and I hope to see him absolutely nailed beautifully, because someone like him, he needs to be nice and full. But then, of course, you risk spilling and kind of obviously coming a little bit soft. But I just feel, third place is a very good place. I think he should be happy with that, because he beat Vlad and Tim, and these guys were top three last year. So were you impressed with how do you think he compared from this to Cali?
Cali, I didn't see the same level of lighting. There was no webcast for that, right? So this is really the first good look I've had at him. of Clancher. Very impressed. I think a little better condition, a little more fullness. He's right there. I think he just missed the mark a little bit today. And the two Andreas, they did not. They were bang on.
Jen, 5 years out. 5 years out as well. 5 years out is a long.
Yeah, that's a long.
That's time. A long time. Imagine being 5 years out and then coming in and expecting to peak perfectly. He's only done 2 shows in 5 years. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
So it's that's a. I mean, I think even I think maybe he doesn't still needs. I think like he should do what Presti's doing and do the Italian show and definitely do the All UK, because he might be one of these guys who just needs a bit of time back in the saddle to try and get back into the swing of thing. Because I mean, Clancher peak perfectly is a handful for anyone.
Well, selfishly, I'm going to say, forget about those shows, Clancher. Come to the Chicago Pro. Come to the Tampa Pro.
Yeah, be good.
Because I'll be there. We'll be doing all the coverage. I'd love to see this guy in person. I guess I'll see him at the Olympia, hopefully, if he qualifies. Jen, to let you know, when the footage is on, Samson is letting us know that our audio is almost inaudible, Giles and I. So I don't know what can be done about that, but I would like to take a look at Tim Budesheim. We could.
Let's have a look. I like this way of doing things. It's quite good. I like it. Yeah, it's cool. It's good. It's good fun.
It's different. Yeah, it's different. So we're going to look at Peter Budesheim. That's the post he was making on Instagram. Wow, I was super, super impressed. Looked like he was going to be in spectacular, grainy, crisp condition. So I'm curious to see how that translated onto the stage, especially with this good lighting. So we're pulling that up.
Somebody's asking which Andrea won. Andrea Presti.
Presti. Yeah, it's confusing.
Let's have a look in. Let's have a look.
Okay, here we go. Budesheim.
Turn it on the side.
Yeah, looks really good. He's got some wheels on him.
He's polished, isn't he? He's very polished. Again, like Presti.
Yeah, he's actually a very thick guy. He's bigger than I thought he was.
I mean, I saw him win the All Europe when I was with Flex Wheeler covering for MD. I saw him win the juniors, and he wasn't this much smaller than this. So he absolutely dwarfed everyone. I mean, it was literally like a man against boys. But I said, when I saw him at the San Marino in 2017, I have to look really close. He's not far off that conditioning. He's not far off. I think this is the closest I've seen him to that 2017 conditioning, because that 2017 conditioning was just, I mean, Dennis James had him beaten Brandon Curry.
Wow.
Brandon was 3rd, Tim was 4th.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with the separation in his quads, the cross striations. He's got some monstrous calves on him. Maybe a little bit more hamstrings. When I'm looking at the side poses, a little bit more hamstring fullness and drop would help him out. But what a fantastic physique on this guy.
I like his lower lats. When I saw him super dry, they really stood out. They were kind of like Dorian Yates, and when he used to pull his arms back, his elbows back, it was kind of like that. But I love the tan as well. His tan is perfect color.
Because I think he was white as a ghost a few days ago in his Instagram pictures.
Yeah.
So good job, Tim. Yeah. Okay. So next guy I'd like to look at is I think he's still 25, the Ukrainian beast, Vlad Sukhorochko. Yeah. I think he's 25 for, I don't know when his birthday is, but he was 24 last year. He must be 25 this year. Yeah. Straight out of Oxygen Gym in Kuwait.
Straight out of Oxygen.
Yeah. He gained
a t-shirt straight out of Oxygen.
I think he gained 40 pounds his first month there, he said. Something ridiculous like that. Because, man.
Anabolic chicken, mate.
Anabolic chicken. Well, it's all the chicken you can eat. It's free chicken. Okay. Vladislav Sukhorochko. It's interesting that they put a K in there and he doesn't. I don't know where they get the extra K there in his last name. What a beast. Wow. And you know what? His waist, his midsection is still small and tight for a guy that's, what do you think he's about? He's got to be about 265, 270 by now.
Yeah.
Stage.
I'm going to say something here, and I'm Vlad knows I love him, and I'm a huge supporter of his. His delts are probably his most dominant body part, but I'm seeing a bit of shine in them, a bit of haddy stuff going on in there, and I'm telling you that they would have marked him down for that, and I think he needs to stop that, or it's going to hurt him in future shows. Because, I mean, I'm just asking myself if Clancher is so much better. And I think he possibly could have cost himself third place here with those shoulders. I think I'm gonna say it out now because I want to help him and I want to see him. I want to see this guy climb because I mean at 25, yes, he has all the time in the world, but this kid is hungry to get to the top quick, you know. So what's your feelings on that, Ron?
Yeah, I definitely see a little bit of shine in the delts for sure, which we've seen on a couple other people. Yeah. And, you know, we're not accusing him of anything because all bodybuilders inject certain oils into their bodies, obviously. And if you're doing multiple shots a week, it's got to go somewhere. You can't put it all in your glutes. You'd have these glutes they'd be like this wide.
Like you, Ron.
Yeah, like my ass. But you know, another thing that would help Vlad out in his rear shots, he's not posing his glutes, he's not flexing them, so it looks like they're smooth. When you can see in the side shots, they're definitely striated. You know, it's not a glute contest, but it kind of is, because when you see that extreme level of definition with those ridges and crazy deep clear striations of glutes, you can't help but be impressed. You're thinking this guy is really in shape.
Have you noticed the way Presti?
That's a what?
Actually, his glutes and his ham. When Presti poses his rear shots, he leaves the glutes and hams right to the final split second, and it is like he hits the back shot, and then he does, and it's really impressive the way he does it. But I mean, Vlad, I remember last year I was messaging him, I was texting him because I got his number after the judge, and I said, "Slow your posing down, slow it down." I said, remember guys like Lee Haney, the way they would pose, they would never pose fast, or it was always majestic. It was like a majestic flow to it, like they were like 1,000 pounds and 10 feet tall, you know. And it creates this illusion. And he came on, he was kind of like flapping his arms about. And I think it was just adrenaline. He was just excited, you know. He's an intense kid, you know. He loves it. But I'd still like to see some improvements on his posing. But for me, I mean, he is devastated. I mean, Lauren was saying she was backstage, you know, literally about half an hour ago, and she was saying he's really upset. But you know what? He only ever focuses on one show at a time. But here is a guy who absolutely needs to do Italy. He needs to do the Arnold UK. I know the invites have gone out now, but maybe he could still get in. But I would be Chicago. Why doesn't he do Chicago? I mean, the thing is, I know he had problems last year with his visa because was it 2 weeks before the Ukrainian embassy said we can't get your visa until May? Yeah. And then because obviously he'd done all those shows to qualify and get enough points for the Olympia, and then right at the last minute they pulled the rug out from him and he couldn't get to the Olympia. So I don't know how it fits with him getting to America to compete. So, but I would love to see him do more shows, and I hope he's a smart kid. He's not stupid. I hope he regroups, gets his head together, and does more shows because, and hopefully gets his visa sorted, because I really Vlad Olympia, because I want to see him. I probably won't get a call out with Nick Walker, but because he's a couple of years behind and he's not quite at that level yet. Yeah. But I really, really want to see him at Olympia this year badly. Didn't
you call him the European Nick Walker?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
It's a good nickname. Well, it's kind of a long nickname, but
it's a compliment. It's a compliment. I didn't mean any disrespect to Nick.
Not at all. It's of course
Nick's 2 years older, and Nick's ahead. You know, he's way off. You know, but Vlad, I mean, at 25, I mean, I was just trying to sort of say, look, you know, there are other good young guys around the world that are deserving of publicity and hype and promotion and support.
Yeah, why not Dan Solomon, listen, what about a special invitation for Vlad? Huh? You know, show your support for Ukraine. This guy qualified last year, visa issues. And the only other person I was thinking would need a special invitation was Lunsford.
You know what? Who, sorry?
I said the only other special invitation case I was thinking might go out this year is to Derek Lunsford for the Open, but I don't think Derek's going.
100%. No, I do you know what? The first bit where you said about the Ukraine thing, I mean, I would disagree with that because I think that's it's I don't think that would be right, but I do think I like the second bit because he couldn't get there last year. You know, that to me is on a par with, you know, Cedric doing his military service, because he couldn't get to the Olympia as well, even though he was qualified. Vlad last year at 24 proved that he was good enough to qualify for the Olympia. and but he wasn't in. So that's a great idea. I like that, Ron. I really like it.
Yeah, I'm full of great ideas. So let's take a look at the biggest man in the show. 500-pound Morgan Ast.
No, he's down to 486 now. He's 486.
Well, that's metric. We're talking kilos. Presti told me he knew how much he weighed in pounds, but I said, "How tall are you?" He said, 180 centimeters. I'm like, dude, that doesn't mean a damn thing to me. 180 centimeters. That could be like I'm 3 feet tall or 10 feet tall. I have no idea. Apparently, it's like 5'10". But okay, so we're going to take a look at Morgan Ast from France. Top 6 is a really good placing for him because yeah, I mean, structurally, he's not as gifted as some of these guys, but good Lord, he's packed on so much muscle mass. Conditioning, always really good. I think I've seen him in better shape, though. I think I've seen him leaner, like at that Arnold Classic that we saw him in. Was it 2020? Right 2 days before the pandemic started?
Yeah. 2020 Arnold Classic, yeah. It was ridiculous condition. Best in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm looking at it. It's when you set a standard like that, you have to show up like that every time. Even if you're like 1% off, people can say, "Oh, he was better at the 2020 Arnold." But yeah, this guy's in great shape.
Ron, his traps need its own zip code.
You said you could see his trap striations through his track suit, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, he is a huge human being. Wow. Yeah, I mean, he's not missing any body parts. It's just with him, he doesn't have that natural X frame. It's kind of more of a straight up and down. He would have to have as much muscle mass as he's packed onto his delts and his back. Yeah, shots like that, when he hits like the hand on hip, most muscular, you see a better taper because it's kind of an illusion. But yeah.
I feel like I need to study these pictures and videos really close, especially the high quality images. But to me, does his shape look like it's improved? Is it just my eyes or the lighting or whatever? Because the first thing I just thought, hang on a minute. Like I saw him in Romania. I was literally there, sat front row, live, doing the live stream. And for me, I feel like his shape actually looks better. And I'm just wondering if it's just me.
It's just you. I mean, certain shots, like his front lat spread is so overwhelming. There's so much muscle mass in front of you with the delts and the all that stuff. Certain shots, his shape doesn't look too bad. His front relaxed, you kind of see it. His frontal bicep, you kind of see where he's not as gifted as the other guys. But I mean, he's done so much with what God gave him. I'm very impressed with this guy. I mean, you said he's like 320 pounds on stage in spectacular condition. That's just a sight to behold. That's amazing.
Morgan is 6'3", and I think he ranges between 315 and 320.
Wow, on stage.
And like you said, that's in really, really good condition. And I honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing and really studying the really sort of good quality footage and photos and stuff, because for me, I think I'm gonna find that his shape has improved. And maybe it's just because he's a little bit fuller. I don't know. But for me, he, like, normally his shape stands out for the wrong reasons. But for me, I think he looks, and I'm really pleased he got top 6, because I felt so bad for him when he didn't get top 15 at the Romania. And to me, he looked as good as this. Do you know what I mean? I felt really bad for him. So I'm absolutely over the moon that he's really got he's got a top 6 there in a really, really good show. So I'm really, really happy for Morgan.
Yeah, we're looking on screen. This was the introduction to the show, I think was it before judging, John? Yeah, so wow, they put some real production value into this show. I'm impressed. I mean,
rotisserie bodybuilding.
Yeah, they're on rotating. And my son makes rotisserie chickens at Costco. They're delicious. But man, look at this. I mean, rotating platforms and these concert lighting.
But it comes up rotating through the stage, so you go downstairs, backstage, get on, and then the hydraulics brings it up through the stage as it rotates with the lighting and the music and the dry ice. I mean, what an experience! I mean, I saw Lauren sent me a video earlier on, and she was in this behind the judges, and all obviously because they weren't judging, every single one of the judges had their phones out. They were all filming it come through the stage, because it was such a it was such a great way to open the show with all those competitors, to get that first look and that kind of overhead spotlight, dramatic lighting. I mean, I know me, I'd have been going absolutely bananas when I saw that.
Man. So can we look at Fabian Mayor, who won the Classic? Let's do that, because Classic Physique happened today. Special mention also to Dean Young from the UK. He won the Amateur Olympia yesterday, turned
Dean
pro.
Dean White.
What's his name? Dean White. I'm sorry, not Dean Young.
Dean
White jumped into the 212 here today and won. Wow. Okay, so we're waiting on Fabian. Fabian Mayor, I was very impressed when I saw him at the Arnold earlier this year, right?
Yeah, look how tall he is.
Wow, you're right. He's towering over these guys.
Yeah. Was he fourth at the Arnold Classic? And also I got corrected on our preview. I said he was sixth place behind Ramondino in fifth, and Urs was fourth. Apparently he was eighth. I mean, obviously a couple of placings, but I had it clear in my head that he was sixth. I mean, I can go and check, obviously.
I think you were thinking of the Olympia, because Urs was fourth at the Olympia and Ramon was
Olympia,
fifth at the
Olympia.
Yeah, Fabian, I'm not sure where he wound up, but
I could have sworn he was sixth, but apparently he was eighth. So apologies.
Great physique on this guy, though. Wow. Yeah, structure, just enough size. That's classic. He doesn't look like some of these classic guys who look like they wanted to be bodybuilders, but they didn't quite have enough size for the open. No, he fits perfectly into the mold. Were you telling me, Giles, it was Fabian an open bodybuilder for a while before Classic?
I can't take the credit. It wasn't me that told you that, but someone did. Yes, agree. Say that was the case. He competed in the Frey Classic with, I want to say Vlad or Tim. I think it was Tim Buddersheim. Okay. So he was an amateur open men's before he. I don't know whether he turned. I'd imagine he turned pro as Classic because. Yeah, and also look at his legs. Look at his legs.
Yeah,
good quads.
Yeah, the one thing, sometimes you see these guys move from men's physique to Classic, and they don't have the right leg development yet. So Classic is supposed to be perfectly proportioned, balanced. Everything should flow into every other body part, and he's got it.
And Ron, and also less than 1 year ago, this was the guy that beat Ramondino.
Wow,
in Spain. I was there. I was doing the live stream.
Will he ever beat him again? Remains to be seen. Wow. So let's take a look at some of the questions from you guys. Questions, comments, insults. Here we go. Thank you so much. I'm happy being Italian. Yeah, the Italian Americans are very happy about the top two here today. Endless Gaming wants to go ahead. Go ahead, Giles.
No, I'm just wincing in pain with my back. Sorry.
Giles is doing this in pain, guys. He's a trooper. So Endless Gaming says, special invitation for what? Ron, did you smoke? I did not smoke, I promise you. You would know if I did, trust me. Does Ron pump up for the videos? No. Just I oil up, a little bit of oil. But let's be real, the best European athletes were not there. Nathan, Samson, James, Theo, Juan Calderon. Not a single not EU athlete. Another disappointment show. I would disagree. I think this had a very good top six, very solid. Just because you can't expect
and then at the Arnold UK, they'll complain there's too many Brits. They will. You can't win with these guys sometimes. I mean, I think it was a real battle of Europe. Like you said in the preview, the only one guy we're really missing was Theo, and I didn't even mention Muzzy, but Muzzy was in this show. So anyway, back to
someone's pointing out Cosmin Silagi is reminding us the UK is not EU anymore. Is that true, Giles?
Yeah, we're at Brexit. Yeah,
I thought Brexit was like a cologne. It's what is it? No, I know what it is. It's you guys left the European Union, right?
We sure did.
So you don't use euros, right? You use your pounds and what other kind of money you have? Sterling. Yeah, I don't know the name of the British money. It's just pounds is all I know. Theo competed already. Yeah, Theo's competed a few times. Calderon is a 212. Did Angel Calderon win an open show too, Giles? Didn't he?
He won in the Big Man weekend in November. I did the live stream there. He beat Amir Omaragic, the 22-year-old from Germany.
That's right.
They were like literally like it was like Lou Ferrigno and Flavio at the '93 Olympia, like just little and large,
Yeah. So Angelus Gaming is reminding someone that Calderon has already qualified for the Open. Was that show? Was that post Olympia? That show?
No, November. He qualified for this year. Yeah.
Okay, so he could do he's another one who could do 212 Olympia or the Open Olympia, right?
Correct. Yeah, correct. I mean, was he fourth at the Olympia last year in the 212?
Yeah, so he could do both. Sean Clarita could do both. Derek Lunsford, no. Derek hasn't won an Open.
Hang on. Clarify what you say when you say both.
Both.
You mean
either. I'm sorry, they're not going to let him do both. I think again.
Don't say both. They'll murder you on the comment.
Oh, I know. They'll murder me regardless. So we're looking now. I'm looking at we're looking at the awards, and you can see the disappointment on Vlad. Vlad was very let down by that.
He's got it.
You know, I mean, these guys all train for first place. Anything other than first is always a disappointment. But unfortunately,
that was a tight top five. We said that in the preview. We said, like, there's 5 guys here. I mean, I put a post up on MD this morning, and I said, look, this top 5. I mean, I had Morgan in there as well. I didn't have Muzzy because I didn't know he was doing it, but I had basically 5 of the top 6 guys in there, and I said, look, this is a really tight top 5, because that's why I was so excited about the show, because, you know, I said Presti's probably the odds-on favorite because he's defending champion and he's on a roll from New York and Orlando. But really, you know, this is exciting because it's 5 guys that are literally, if you know, on paper they're neck and neck. So that's why I was so excited about this show.
Yeah, because you had, I mean, this top 5, they were all very close to each other. No slouches in that lineup. Any one of those top 5, I think, in the right circumstances, could have won.
There you go.
Presti just had a little bit more of certain factors that put him over the top, and you know, congratulations to him, because you know, he seems like such a nice, genuine, sincere guy. And I know he was a little let down when he came to Olympia and barely got a look and got last place. So I'm glad. I really hope he does better. I hope he has. Unfortunately, he's not going to have any off season. It looks like he's just going to keep hitting shows. But man, when this guy gets a little more quad sweep on him, I don't think a top 6 Olympia is out of the question. Why not? He's got a great physique.
I think he could be a legit top 10 guy this year, possibly. But I think he's been one of those. I think he's one of those guys that he's. I think with his work ethic, he'd be one of those guys, and also the size of his frame and the fact that he still has improvements he can make to his like actual balance, not just getting bigger. I still feel like he's a guy that can continually move up, and I think he will, because I didn't expect him to make these kinds of improvements in 1 year. But one question I'd like to ask you, Ron.
Yeah.
You know, obviously it's so soon after the show. If you had the score sheets in front of you, what do you think happened? Do you think Presti got straight firsts, or do you think it was closer than that?
I think he got straight firsts. I think he did.
Yeah, I do. I think it was a clear win.
Yeah, Muzzy's very good. Don't get me wrong, but I think Presti was just. If I was looking at those 2 guys, I would have just. It wouldn't have been a momentary hesitation. I would have said Presti.
That's impressive as well, because like I said, those 5 guys, they were very evenly matched. You know, there was no one that came in and, you know, even though we predicted that Andrea, based upon what he's done in the last few weeks in these other shows, you know, and the fact that he is just on a roll right now. And obviously the thing is, you know, you're always confident and on a buzz after a win, you know, so you're going to get straight back on the treadmill. You're not going to mind, because you're going to think, hang on a minute, I could win in Portugal. I could win in Italy. I mean, it'd be interesting to see who turns up at Italy, because I didn't know about this Italian show. So it'd be interesting to see, because we still got, I know we got Chicago and the Isles UK, Vancouver,
Tampa.
But there's still some big names yet to qualify. Now, Texas, my God, Martin Fitzwater and, you know, Keown, guys like that. Kukla. What's to stop one of the big names like Hakeem or Steve Kuklo or Ian Valliere jumping into Italy? You know what I mean? What's Nathan Diasher up to? Do you know what I mean? He's gone very, very quiet. So, you know, it'd be interesting to see what happens at these shows, because the thing is, now they are running out and there's big names still yet to qualify. So I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Someone, John Ramsbottom, is asking any info on women. I know Lauren Lauder did interviews with figure winner, and who else? She interviewed a couple of the.
She interviewed Mrs. Ramsteiner.
Yeah. She
the
won.
Figure winner who won in Spain last week. Bikini, I think, will have happened by now. I mean, Lauren's actually messaging me as we're doing this. Yeah. Bikini would have happened by now, I think. And bodybuilding, I'm interested because I want to see how Branca's going to do up against Yesenia.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So there too. That's an interesting. That's what I'm interested in. The women's physique was Barbara Benage, who came, the lady with the bald head, the black lady from France.
Third place at the Olympia.
Yeah, she's third place at the 2020 Olympia. So, I mean, really, unless she's really, been eating Twinkies for the last 2 years, I mean, she's coming in looking in even as good as that. She was probably the odds-on favorite to win that, and she did.
Yeah, I mean, Barbara Menage, she's fantastic. I had never even heard of her, I think, prior to 2020. Then I saw her in a couple of shows. I'm like, wow, she's legit. So, what? I could see you before I can hear you. I could see you gesticulating.
Ron, just say it. Derek needs a special invitation.
Derek needs a special invitation. There, I said it. I mean, he does. He's not qualified, so he would need a special invitation.
What, do you know what? That would actually be a really, really exciting storyline. And I think it's probably quite smart on the promoters of the Olympia to do that. I think I'd be more interested and more excited about seeing what he did, what he decided, than say some of the other special invites we've seen in the past, because I think that's something a lot of the fans would love to see. And the thing is, if you were the current Olympia champion who's basically put on probably 25 pounds of fresh muscle in the last year. And that was when he was at the guest spot, which was months ago. So he's probably even bigger now. I mean, I put a comment on his post today, his legs. And I said, Tom Platt's called. He wants his quads back.
Even better than if he goes into the Open is if he goes into both 212 in the Open. Imagine that. But I think, didn't Solomon say, no way, that's just not going to happen?
Okay, forget about that, because we know that's not going to happen. But I personally, I would love to see him in the Open. I think 212, I think you obviously could win again. He's the defending champion. He looked sensational last year. But to be honest, I think I'd be disappointed. Actually, I'm going to say it now. I think I'll be disappointed if he does 212, because it's like we never ever got to see the best version of Flex Lewis ever, and we never will, because the only person who got to see him at 4 weeks out was his training partners and Neil Hill. So we never got to see that best ever version, and I don't want the same to happen to Derek Lunsford. So, I mean, I'm thinking he could be on stage at 228, 230 minimum, and how's he going to look next to Hadi and guys like William Bonac and stuff? I think he will stack up really well. So what would you like to see him do if he got the special invite for the Open?
Selfishly, I'd love to see him go into the Open, obviously. I mean, I'd love to see him with Rami and Hadi and Brandon and, Nick Walker and Hunter Labrada, Ian Valliere. I think he'd fit right in. I think he'd beat some of those names I just mentioned.
But yeah. So what would be the main reason, though? The main reason why you'd like to see him do Open? Because he's literally giving up a 212 Olympia title, and he's giving up that chance to even defend it. Because
I know he's added so much muscle tissue that when he goes to 212, he's going to have to drop somewhere between 10 and 15 pounds of muscle. That's my estimate. Lean muscle tissue. He'll be shredded at 220 to 225, and then he's going to have to somehow get down to 212 anyway.
I don't honestly, I probably shouldn't say this, but I don't think it's healthy for him to do 212 anymore.
Well, I mean, let's not even talk about health.
No, I think catabolizing that much muscle tissue and putting that much stress on the body, because obviously he's trying to lose whatever little body fat he's got. I mean, for me, I remember that time when I wrote Ready at MD years ago, Jose Raymond, and he had to this is when he was doing 202, and he said he was over the limit, and he said the last week he was living on like one small bit of chicken breast a day and whatever it was. But I remember reading the article. You probably wrote it.
Yeah.
And it was like it sounded. He said I don't think it. It didn't even sound like it was a smart thing to do for your health. I mean, I don't know. I think what's the point of adding all that size on, and getting to that level of thickness and really training to get bigger, to know that then it's just all going to have to be lost. I honestly think he planned on doing Open from a couple of weeks after the Olympia. That's my feeling.
Yeah, I mean, we won't know until probably 2 weeks out at the earliest. I bet they're not going to let us know.
I think he's keeping it secret, and I think that's cool. But either way, I think if they did give him a special invite, even if he declined it right at the last minute, I think it would add a lot of hype and excitement and to generate for the Olympia. And I think I think that's the only time I think I could get really excited about the special invite.
Right on. All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. I think we've covered all the bases. Again, congratulations to Italy's Andrea Presti. Defended his title, got his second pro win today in Portugal at the Mr. Big Evolution Portugal Pro. Congrats to the rest of the top 6, Andrea Muzzy, Peter Clancher, Tim Budisheim, Vlad Suhorochko, and Morgan Ast. Yeah, and I can hear you. I can see you before I can hear you. What were you saying, Giles?
I didn't say anything. I'm just looking gorgeous.
It's tough with this delay. So I guess that'll do it. We'll wrap it up. We thank you guys so much for watching. There's several other videos that were just done on this channel from Portugal. Giles' better half, Lauren Lauder, is on site. She's been doing wrap-ups, coverage, winner interviews. So please check that out on this channel when you're done watching this. We appreciate it. See that little bell thing in the corner there? Click on that so you know when we have new videos coming out. It's very important. Yeah. Any final words, Giles?
Cool. Well, Lauren said she was out surfing yesterday and she had those sharks. So I'm just glad that she didn't, get eaten by sharks and I'd have to get another girlfriend. And also, I'd leave it a couple of weeks. Don't worry. I'm not insensitive. And obviously she managed to get all those interviews done today. So that's great. So keep an eye out for the entire show wrap up from two people that were there, from herself and Robert Phil, the wellness creator. That'll be up, probably going up literally right after this one.
Yeah. Someone's asking what show is next. The Vancouver Pro is next Sunday, literally 7 days away, next show. And then it's Chicago. And I think it's Tampa the next week or 2 weeks. And it's Tampa, Texas. There's a million damn shows, guys.
Texas I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, for sure. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Giles, thank you so much for hanging out. I know it's a little later over there. It's, 8:45 at night? Wow. Yeah.
Bedtime.
Yeah, go to sleep, Giles. My goodness, it's too late for an old man to be up.
Not to tell me twice.
All right, guys. Well, that's it. That'll put a wrap on it. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate your viewership, and we'll see you here next time.